Wonder Woman is out in theaters now, and I've got to say, it's about time. I mean, we've had movies about female superheroes before, but...
Yeah, no, I refuse to acknowledge Catwoman, and Elektra was just terrible. Supergirl...
We've never had a movie about a female superhero before, and Wonder Woman, well, she's the linchpin. I mean, she's the longest running and most recognized superheroine in the history of comics. In fact, she's the very... Okay, she's not even close to the very first.
Looking at the comic medium as a whole, the first leading lady in an adventure comic was Connie from a 1927 newspaper strip, who drifted through archetypes from girl reporter to aviatrix, but never quite landed in the superhero genre. Sheena, the first Jungle Queen, first appeared in 1938, but as for the first actual costumed superheroine with her own feature, that arguably goes to Phantoma.
He who visits the elephant's graveyard shall never get out alive.
Phantoma was, like Sheena, also a jungle-dwelling Caucasian woman, but hers was the ability to use her mystic powers to transform herself into a supernatural terror to combat evils afflicting the jungles she loved.
But I'd forgive you for saying that she was a combination of a cult heroine and jungle queen, and not really a superheroine in the classic sense. So let me present the Woman in Red.
It takes a heel to handle a heel.
First appearing in Thrilling Comics number 2 in 1940, the Woman in Red was masked vigilante without powers, much like other heroes of the era, such as Crimson Avenger, the Angel, or this guy. Peggy Allen was a policewoman who thought she could do more to combat crime than the system allowed, so she donned a mask, hood, and stiletto heels and took to the streets to dish out justice.
And she was followed by several other superheroines. More than you'd think, probably.
It isn't nice to leave a house through the window. We'll politely await the police. They should be up soon.
Relax, ain't much protection against me out here, Randall. Reach! You again?
I warned you I'd be back. Daring use the stairs. Police will be coming up. But if that murderous imposter could leave this way, so can I. While I'm waiting for him to get back with the police, I'll do a little investigating of my own. As the Phantom Lady.
And you had the Black Cat, Miss Victory, Quality Comics Miss America, Pat Patriot, Wildfire, Nelvana of the Northern Lights, and the Spider Queen, all of them predating Wonder Woman. And that's not even counting heroines who served as sidekicks to male heroes such as Bullet Girl and Hawk Girl.
So, when Wonder Woman first appeared in 1941's All-Star Comics number 8, I mean, she was in good company. But what Wonder Woman did more than any of those other characters was last. She survived a purging of superhero titles in the late 40s that took out pretty much every other superhero comic that didn't star Superman or Batman. She's one of the rare few that bridged the gap from the Golden to Silver Age without interruption.
Wonder Woman was created by William Moulton Marston, primarily to provide young girls with positive representation in the comics medium, although I'd say some of those other characters I mentioned were pretty great. But he also clearly was working through some fetishes. Princess Diana was an Amazon from Paradise Island, called Themyscira in modern comics after the mythological home of the Amazons, who was chosen to go to Man's World after pilot Steve Trevor crashed on their hidden island. In America, she adopts the identity Diana Prince to serve as a military secretary, and as Wonder Woman, fights evils only she is strong enough to combat. With a magic lasso, whose powers in the Golden Age differ a bit from the lasso of truth we're familiar with today, bracelets that deflect bullets, and an invisible plane for transport, Wonder Woman is also possessed of great strength, the speed of Mercury, and a band of sidekicks, the Holiday Girls, a sorority led by jovial Etta Candy, who enthusiastically leads the girls into battle with a bombastic woo-woo.
Woo-woo! Candy saves another life!
Etta would change greatly over time. Likewise, Wonder Woman's origins and characterization would evolve through the years. She gained the power to glide on air currents and later just blatantly learned to fly. She went from relying on her lasso as her primary weapon to raising sword and shield, but whether she lost her strength entirely or became as strong as Superman himself, her strength of character was always there.
And the Golden Age would continue to give us great superheroines, from Lady Satan to Marvel's Miss America, from Yankee Girl to Liberty Belle.
Heck, by the post-war years, it was almost more likely we'd see female superheroes than male ones. Black Canary, Namora, the Blonde Phantom, Miss Mask, Moon Girl, Sun Girl, and Venus all making their first appearances after superheroes were starting to die out. But by the 50s, female adventurers, not just superheroines, but the stable of girl reporters, female detectives, and other professional women who populated the interiors of anthology comics, were pretty much gone. If a female character was the lead in a feature in the late 50s and 60s, it was almost certainly a comedy or romance feature like Millie the Model, Little Dot, or Wendy the Good Little Witch. There were exceptions like Zatanna and Nightshade, but very few. For the most part, when we saw a female superhero in the Silver Age, she was either the lone lady member of a team or the sidekick to a male lead.
And this really wouldn't change until the mid-70s, when we had characters like Spider-Woman, Shauna the She-Devil, Ms. Marvel, and the Cat all appearing in their own titles. But even still, it was a far cry from the proliferation of superheroines we had 3 decades earlier.
Today, of course, we're seeing a lot more by the way of female leads, from a new Ms. Marvel to America Chavez, the Birds of Prey, and a brand new The Shield.
But through it all, Wonder Woman has always been there.
Through resurgences and reimaginings, TV shows and failed pilots, low sales and high-profile revivals, Wonder Woman keeps going. It's frankly amazing that it took 75 years to put her on the big screen.
But here we are. Finally. I mean, she wasn't the first, but she was inarguably the most influential. And that is Wonder Woman's Golden Age influence.
In America, you will be known as Wonder Woman, for I have taught you well.
And so Diana, the Wonder Woman, giving up her heritage and her right to eternal life, leaves Paradise Island to take the man she loves back to America, the land she learns to love and protect, and adopts as her own.
A costume to fit the strength I've gained through my bluebird ring. Henceforth, I will be known as the Blue Lady.